So you've researched the demand and you've looked at visitbritain.org, AirDNA, Airbnb, Booking.com. You understand your average nightly rate. You think there's good demand in your area. If you haven't found an area where you think there's good demand, revisit those videos, go back through them again and assess the demand going forward. Something you should always revisit as you're looking at new areas to understand, is there demand there? You can keep revisiting those videos and assessing demand, so you think, yes, another new area, let's go and find properties in that area. But you've assessed that area and you think the demand is there, so now you need to see if the deal stacks up. So we need to understand, what does a property rent for there? So we can go to Rightmove or Zoopla or On the Market, any of the online agents, and look at what a property rents for in that area. So type in your area and look for how much a property rents for. So go to rightmove.co.uk, zoopla.co.uk, go properties to rent, type in the area and see what that type of property looks for. So if you're looking for apartments, you think apartments is the ones you want to look for. If you think houses, you look for that house amount of money and you make a note of the rental prices. So say, for example, our one in Colchester is £750, £800, depending on what size of the property is, we'd use that as our figure. So again, average, look at a few different properties, the different standards, so you get a feel for what the area is. You might already know, you might already have rentals in that area, use them as your figure. So once we've done that, we then need to look at the different average rent, like I said. So you go to Rightmove Zoopla, click properties to rent, and you would search for the property type, number of rooms, type of property such as apartments, houses, and you find properties that match what you're looking for in terms of condition and make a note of the rent price. So use these figures to find an average for the properties to put in your figures. So find 5, 10 properties, average it out, get that average figure so you can use that in your figures. If you're purchasing, obviously we're looking at rent to rent versus purchasing, you'd go to Rightmove Zoopla, go properties to buy, and you would look again, just the same again, look for properties, the same size properties that you're looking to buy, and look for in terms of the standard of property, and then you would look at the sold prices. So for more clear figures, you can look at the purchases that are for sale, properties for sale, and you would get enough idea of what they're actually for sale for. But then you look at the sold prices. The reason we're looking at the sold prices, we want to work out what the mortgage is going to be each month. So once you think, okay, a property sells for 150 grand, I'm going to buy it for 150 grand, you want to work out what the mortgage is. So you would work out what 75% of that 150 grand is, divide that by 6% and divide it by 12 to get your monthly rental, monthly mortgage figure. So with that in mind, you've done that, and we can then put that into the figures. So make sure you go away and do that. So what we need to do is need to stress test it. So we've done 6% there. We're into 6%. Your mortgage might only be 1-2%, but the reason we're stress testing it at 6% is because if the interest rate goes up, which is at an all-time low, which has just gone up recently, it's still very low for what it's been in history. When it goes back up, you're making sure that you can cover that cost. So we need to stress test it to make sure that your property works at worst case scenario. So for example, we was looking at Bath. We know 2-bed. I didn't actually assess that area in detail. Look at, say, 2-bed houses work in that area. So average occupancy in the UK in service accommodation is 70%. So we want to know that that's our minimum cash flow that we want. So you might want to make £200, £300, £400, £500. I would say you probably want to go above £250, otherwise you might as well just get a buy to let. You should be looking at £500 plus as a minimum for this. That's what we look for. As a minimum at 70%, you could be making way more at 80, 90, 100% occupancy. It's all about getting the right nightly rate there, so you know you get guests in and you make your profits. But obviously with service accommodation, there are seasonal periods. So you might have winter months where it's quieter. You might have periods where there's things that go on in your area, different festivals, different events where you can charge a lot more. So what we want to do, you want to make sure the property breaks even at 50%. So you know that half of your month, the property is empty. Does it cover itself? Does it wash its own face, so to speak? So basically it covers the rent, you move on, you make your profit next month. So this means that basically you let the property out for 15 days, and the month you don't lose any money, you can still pay the bills, and the property pays for itself. So run the numbers. Basically, these are the likely operational expenses. Once you've gone through this, there is a spreadsheet in the links. Download that, go away to your area on the Rightmove and update it. These are just likely expenses. It will vary depending on areas. So we previously had a property in Brighton, and the cleaning was £30–40 per hour. So it really does vary depending on the area. So it's worth trying to reach out to other cleaning companies, to other people who do have service accommodation units in those areas to understand what the cleaning costs are going to be. But use this as your likely operational expenses. You can go from there. Always go from a worst case scenario. So your cleaning costs £10–15 per hour. Could be £20–30, depends what the area is. London, going to be a lot more. Linen costs £15 per room, so you could be looking at £30 a turnover. Toiletry, welcome packs, depends if you want to give that in there, but you're looking at anything from nothing to a few pounds per changeover, depends how much you have in there. Booking fees. So this is when you have a booking come through Booking.com, Airbnb, a different agent, you have to pay a commission to them. So we're going to include this in there. Obviously, we'd love to get direct bookings, but at the start, you're going to be using these online travel agents because they have the adverts out there. They pay so much in advertising. They are the market leaders there that people go to straight away. So till you're known, you're not going to get direct bookings. So you want to utilize those sites. So you're going to pay commission for that, which is anywhere between 0 to 15% plus that, sometimes up to 18% now. Card fees, we'll go through different card providers in a later video. This you're looking at anything from 0 to 2%, depending on where you're coming from. Mortgage rent payments, this is where you're looking at for your area. So again, putting in the worst case scenario for all these here, £15 per hour, so probably 2 hour clean, £30. Yes, that's not correct. Oh,